Welcome back once again to BeFM Drama. As you know, this season we're creating brand new radio plays inspired by all of the stories in the 22 books of Winter's Tales that Charles Dickens wrote in the wake of the success of A Christmas Carol. And as I mentioned, he outsourced much of the work for these books, and as time went on, he passed on more and more of the writing duties to his collaborators. A while back, I did the same and asked one of our lead actors to write an episode. That's how we got the Kelly Brassbridge story, Let Me Be, and today, we do it again. Last week we adapted almost all of the stories in Mrs. Lirriper's Legacy. We did not, however, cover Another Past Lodger Relates His Own Ghost Story by Amelia Ann Blandford Edwards. I handed the adaptation off to the star of the show, Sam Hazelton. Sam plays Goblin in the show, but this time he took on a few more roles. I gave Sam the general idea of the story. There's a mysterious stranger who breaks into a house to escape the cold and sees a ghost, and Sam then made his own script, created his own character, and played that character in the episode. Please enjoy BeFM Drama's production of Chicken Berry Pie.
I remember time last year. The talking heads were on the news. Said it's the coldest it's been in 100 years. A real once-in-a-lifetime cold snap. Punishing, relentless cold with no end in sight. Gray skies, low-lying clouds. Felt apocalyptic. Like we're somehow slipped into an alternate dimension of frigid gloom. Makes life around you seem brittle and fleeting. Fern and I were as busy as we've ever been, thawing out patients who succumb to cold's icy grip. Some people just aren't cut out for it. Go to bed one night, we find them the next day in their popsicles. Me, I like the cold. Keeps my thoughts crisp. This kind of weather reminds me of an old Robert Frost poem my granddad used to recite to me when I was just a boy. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Anyway, there's your culture for the night.
Boy, oh boy, it is colder than a frog's tail out there tonight.
Frog's tail? That's a new one.
Oh yeah, well that's what my grandpappy used to say. I don't even think that frogs have tails. Do they? Wait, do frogs have tails? Like, I know lizards do, but frogs, I mean, I'm no expert. I don't think I've ever seen a frog with a tail. Wait, maybe I have and I just don't remember. What do you think, Gobby Wobby Bobby? Frogs? Tails or no?
Please, never call me Gobby Wobby Wobby again. And yes, some frogs have internal tails that emerge when temperatures get below freezing. They wrap their tail around their body to trap heat so they don't freeze to death.
Oh, wow. I knew it. So cool. Wait, really?
No, not really.
Well, then I don't know what my old grandpappy was even talking about.
22 Charles.
Go for 22 Charles.
Yeah, we got an elderly male over at 33rd and Barnacle acting strange. Possible case of hypothermia and or dementia. Neighbors claim he's been, I quote, hooping and hollering, creating a heck of a ruckus. Careful, sounds like this guy's a bit unglued.
Roger that, on our way.
Try not to freeze to death, you two.
Thanks for the tip, dispatch. We'll try our best. We made our way out to 33rd and Barnacle. When we arrived, we saw a man in a giant parka waiting for us.
You the guy that called this in?
That I am. Not sure what to make of it, but there I am, just sitting in my living room, trying to stay warm, watching the old boob tube. You know, they say it's the coldest it's been in these parts in over 100 years. And then I hear some kind of commotion coming out from old man Tucker's place. Look out my window and see the lights were on.
Old man Tucker, your neighbor?
Yeah, you got it. Problem is, he ain't been around for a spell. He's on vacation. Asked me and the old lady to watch over the place till he comes back. That's what we've been doing. Coming around midnight, we hear all kinds of racket coming from over there. So I says to myself, I says, I'm gonna have to check and see what tarnation is going on. Walked over there, peeked in the window, and seen an old-timer looking like he's talking to himself. Old feller jumping around in his britches, and I says to myself, I says, he don't look right in the head. Maybe the cold got to him. I don't know, but he's liable to freeze solid in this weather. So we called you, and well, here you are.
Yeah, we'll try our best.
Fern and I walked over to Old Man Tucker's place. I peeked in the window. We could see into the kitchen and noticed the light was on. Otherwise, the place looked empty.
Hello? Anyone in there? Can you come to the door?
We heard a voice coming from inside.
If I was you boys, I'd skedaddle about as far away from this dadgum place as you can. This place ain't right with the Lord.
Sir, we have a report that you're in distress. If you need help, you need to let us in.
Well, I'm colder than the cast iron skillet on the shady side of an iceberg. Been hunkered down here for darn near before I can remember. You two fellers from the real world, or you ghosts from the great beyond?
Sir, we're real and we're coming in.
We made our way inside and saw an old-timer lying on his back in the middle of the kitchen, blue with cold, dressed in an old moth-eaten pair of breeches, an old pair of beat-up boots, a straw hat, a thin flannel shirt. He was conscious, but clearly not all there.
Oh boy, this guy does not look good. Look how blue he is. I didn't know people could turn that blue.
Well, obviously they can. Sir, we need to get you warm. Let's get a blanket around you.
Hey, how about I get you some hot tea or something?
Oh, no, you don't. I don't drink tea. I'll take a spot of coffee, or even better, if you got a little nip of mash, that'd fix me right up.
Sir, we need to get you to a hospital. You are clearly suffering from hypothermia.
I ain't going nowhere. At least not yet. Swear to the heavens above I saw my old wife Bessie in this here house. I ain't leaving till I get right with her. You two fellers just as soon get out the way you came in.
Sir, do you have a wife? Can we call her?
You can call her all you want, but she ain't answering.
Well, how can we get in touch with her?
You can't. Oh, my Bessie. My sweet Bessie. Sweetest little blossom ever been plucked off the blossom tree. Sweeter than maple syrup on a honeybee's toes. Tell you what.
Sir, that's great, but you are about to freeze to death. We need to get you to the hospital. Like, very soon.
Before you two barged in, I was about to take a little nap.
That's not a good idea. You really need to stay awake. If you fall asleep now, you may not wake up.
Well, that's the whole point. I reckon it's just about time for me to be moving on.
Sir, we can't let that happen. Can you walk, or do you need us to carry you?
I can walk, but I tell you what, these old bones don't fit together like they used to. Bess is here somewhere, I swear it. I seen her clear as day, wearing that old dress with the sunflowers on it. Had her hair down, little dollop of flour on her nose, just like it used to happen years ago, before she moved on to a better place.
Sir, we really need to get you out of here.
Ah, forget it. Just leave me here. I'll just fall asleep and that'll be that. Finally, Bessie and I can be together again. That is, if they let me into the place she is. Ain't no guarantee about that. But I reckon it's about time for me to meet my maker. I'll let him sort me out as he sees fit.
He started to fade in and out of consciousness. We were losing him. It was time to get him out of there and into the ambulance. I took the wheel, and Fern stayed with the old-timer in the back. It was Fern's job to keep him awake. He's better at that sort of task than I am.
Sir, I need you to try and stay awake. It won't be long until we're there. Just hang tight. Can you tell me about yourself? What were you doing in that house?
They call me old Jake Hambone. I'm old mule skinner down Carbondale Way. Been doing that since probably before you was born. Old Flapjack Jenkins decided he wanted out of the ranching business and left a bunch of the old hands scrambling for work. I decided to pick up stakes and make my way over to the big city, seeing if I could find work. Shoot, I ain't had any luck. Seems I'm just old in the way these days. I used to be handy as all get out. Work sun up to sundown every day the Lord's week. Never hear me complain either. Shoot, I'm handy with all sorts of tools. Good at fixing things. I know how to cook up a right proper meal with all the fixings. Potatoes and gravy, crisply suckling pig stuffed with apple mash. Make a mean old berry pie that make the devil dance a two-step. Shoot, follow that up with a spot of corn mash whiskey, you'll be happier than a pig in muck. Cheeks redder than a ripe red apple picked on a sunny day of summer.
Wow, that sounds great. But how did you end up frozen near death in an empty house?
Well, I got into town and some young bandit down at the bus stop decided he needed my jacket more than I did. So he saw fit to make off with it. Of course, it had all my spending cash, so what was I supposed to do? Decided I'd try to walk back to Carbondale. Didn't make it too far. I was colder than the witch's tin whistle and needed to get warm. So I seen that house there, and I guess I wasn't thinking right. So I broke in, and when I did, that's when I saw my dear Bessie. She was in the kitchen cooking something up. Couldn't tell what. She never was much of a cook. Didn't matter none much to me, though. I'd eat whatever she put in front of me, with a smile on my face, too. I never let on I didn't like her cooking.
Hey, by the way, what's a mule skinner?
Mule skinner, someone who drives mules. Not too many of us around anymore. Imagine before long people gonna forget there ever even was mule skinners. Shoot, I can't hardly take measure of things these days. These kids and their computers. Nope, men like me are just old and in the way. Should've just let me turn into an icicle back there. I ain't got nothing left to give to this world.
No. That's the wrong attitude to have. We need more people like you. Now more than ever.
You say that, but ain't true. World moves on. People just passing through. I reckon my time on this old rock about come pass. Don't bother me much. I'll be fine.
Say, old timer, I heard you mentioning something about berry pie. What kind of berries are we talking?
If you're looking to talk berries, you got the right guy. For me personally, the huckleberry sits on the throne of the berry kingdom. None better. Sure, most will go with the strawberry, but to me, that lacks imagination.
I see your point about strawberries, because I'm a blackberry guy. You ever made a blackberry pie?
Heck, you're all right for a young feller. But I made pie just about every dadgum berry in this Lord's green earth. I made berry pies out of berries you probably never even heard of. You ever hear of chickenberry?
Sure haven't. Chickenberry? What's a chickenberry taste like? Does it really taste like chicken?
Not especially. But if you pick it before it's ripe, it will.
Wow. Well, what does it look like?
Oh, about yay big. About the size of a house sparrow's beak. Dark purple. If you plan on making a pie out of it, you need to pick it late spring. Bessie never cared too much for chickenberry pie. Said it was too tart. Boy, I tell you what, she was never too shy about letting me know her disfavor with my work in the kitchen. But on the whole, Bessie loved my pies. She's always telling her friends I'm the best doggone pie maker this side of the Mississippi.
She sure sounds like a special lady.
You're darn tootin'. Don't think there ever been made a finer woman than my Bessie. When I see her back there in this old feller's house, I think she's trying to tell me something. Then you two rascals showed up and now I'm left wondering what it was.
Well, I'm sure if she were with you now, she'd want you to keep fighting, you know? Trying to make a go of it. Get out there in this world.
Reckon you're right. Sounds like her, but I'll square with you. I don't always mind what she told me, and that got me in heaps of trouble. And I was none too smart on my part, but I can be a stubborn old son of a butcher when I put my mind to it.
Say, when you get all healed up, do you think you might be able to give me some of your pie recipes?
Oh, I suppose so.
And could you tell me where to find some chicken berries?
Afraid I can't do that.
Why not?
Well, they don't exist. I was pulling your leg, young feller. Heck, I know you need plenty of learning to be doing this job we're doing here, But boy, how do you believe someone telling you about a chickenberry pie? You gotta be dumber than a second coat of paint. Chickenberry pie.
Hey, that's not nice. I'm a trusting guy.
I know you is. I saw that from the beginning. Sometimes I can't help myself picking on you city slickers. I don't mean you no harm, and I apologize.
Yeah, that's okay. I like to goof around. It's no big deal, Mr. Hambone.
Hambone ain't my name either. My name's Bob Miller.
What? Has anything that you've said been true?
Yeah, I'm just teasing you again. Real name's Jake Hambone. You can take that to the bank, cross my heart, swear in my mother's grave.
Well, we're here, Mr. Hambone. If that is indeed your name.
We arrived at the hospital and unloaded our patient. We got ready for our next popsicle. Fern was looking confused.
Hey, Goblin, did you hear what me and that old timer were talking about back there?
No, not really. Just, something about his wife, some pie stuff. No, I wasn't really paying attention. Why?
Oh, no reason really, just, I was curious. Say, you hungry?
Sure, I could eat.
How about a couple burritos?
I'm kind of tired of burritos, to be honest.
All right, well, what do you feel like then?
You know what I've got a hankering for?
What?
Big old slice of chickenberry pie.
Thank you as always for listening to BeFM Drama. This was Chickenberry Pie, written by Sam Hazelton. Inspired by Another Past Lodger relates his own ghost story by Amelia Ann Blandford Edwards. It starred Sam Hazelton as Goblin and Jake Hambone, Kelly Brassbridge as Fern, and me as Dispatch and the Neighbor. The song you hear now, Hidden Agenda, is by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech and released under a Creative Commons Attribution License. Goblin's theme is by Unheard Music Concepts, which is weird because we have heard it a lot in this series. There are only 4 episodes of Goblin stories left. We're nearing the end of Dickens's winter stories, so Goblin and Fern's tale will soon come to a close as well. I hope you've enjoyed our tales so far. We have a lot more surprises in store for our last 4. Tune in next time for something like we've never done before. We'll be kicking off our adaptation of the next book, Dr. Marigold's Prescriptions, with a tale inspired by Charles Collins' short story, To Be Taken at the Dinner Table. But to mix things up and try something new, we'll be doing an entirely improvised episode. No script, no plan, just a prompt provided 155 years in the past, and we'll see what happens. Don't miss BeFM Drama's production of No Joke. As always, thank you for listening. We will see you next time.